Hey, sleepy garden enthusiasts. This is part 3 of my garden series for this year. This is our mailbox garden. And it's surrounded by lilies of the valley. Sometimes trash blows around from up the road. Anyways, there used to be a lot more of the lilies, like all the way out to here and around. But when I put these bricks in to frame it, I took a lot of the lilies out and put them in the back near the back wall, the border separation wall. It's like one of those old stone New England classic rock walls. It's in pretty good shape. I don't remember what any of these inner plants are, but that one right there gets really nice. There's a lot of different stuff in here. That does or doesn't come up because I filled it a little too much, but it's doing very well. I finished working on my tomato standing garden last weekend. Filled it up with dirt. Took out all the dry leaves from the fall. Wonder if these lights still work. Got them at Ocean State Job Lot. They were pretty cheap. Still have to clean up this one for the beans. I don't know how soon I'll be able to get beans though. But what I need to do is, because the netting doesn't stay very well, even though it's got these little noops. Like, I would use twist ties to keep it on, but it would just keep going through the hole, and the whole thing would just come down, which is so annoying. So I was thinking that this year I would take a hot glue gun and make little knobs on the top of each one, and then maybe the netting will stay, hopefully. Last year I tried putting a soda bottle over the one in the middle, but it kept blowing off anyways. Back here, under this bush and tree, we have a whole bunch of pets buried from the last 30 years. I've been here a long time. But here is special. Over there's maybe a couple cats, or one that I can think of, but it's mostly hamsters, maybe a few, like my first few fish before I started just flushing them. But here's two brothers, cats, Fred and George. Fred had a heart attack or stroke or something when he was just 7. And then George just died last fall when he was 9. So it's, like they were both healthy, even though they were rescues. We always get rescues. But first, Fred, just out of nowhere. Oh, here's all those lilies of the valley I was talking about. They literally line the wall. And in between them are hostas. hostas, if you couldn't hear. Pretty cool wall. Anyway, yeah, Fred just kind of died out of nowhere. And then George started getting sick, and it turned out he had a big tumor, and he didn't last long after that. Yeah, we gotta get some trees taken down. Maybe this week or something, actually. Alright, I'm gonna... Some more hostas here, too. I think they put those cages to try to keep the deer from eating them, which they do. The ones against the back wall don't get very big, they just get eaten. But I'd much rather the deer eat the hostas than my tomatoes and other plants, so trade-off, you know. But this weekend I hope to get that bean garden ready. Hopefully I can get beans soon. I hope they grow better this year. My mom grew up on a farm, and she said her dad really used to plant them like way closer than anything else. So I'm gonna do that, and they'll shade each other along with that netting. I'm gonna head to the basement now, and we'll take a look at those little tomato sprouts that are really doing well. Oh, it's so much quieter in here than outside. Those birds were going crazy. It's also much darker than it was just a few minutes later. Anyway, this cherry tomato plant is doing great. Tomatoes are self-pollinating. So all you have to do is give it a good shake every day. Or put a fan on it or something. Another thing I do is this, because obviously there are only a few flowers on this and it's only one plant. So this is just a makeup brush, I think. If not, it's a paintbrush, but I think it's a makeup brush. Get some pollen on there. And go flower by flower. I really need to get the arrow garden going again. I don't really have any spices. Repotted. All those things. Whatever. Oh, calancho, that's what it was. Not enough room to water it. Silly spider plants like to outgrow whatever container you put them in. The ones I have at work, I can't even repot because there wouldn't be anywhere to put them. They'd be too heavy. The Reapers sprouted. I didn't think I was going to get any. Carolina Reaper. Awesome. Oops. I don't want to overwater them. Scotch bonnet and Pekin. Yeah. And then our sun golds. Our supersonics. Now I think I'm going to put the supersonics in the larger section of that raised bed garden, because when I read the tags, maturity 79 days as opposed to 57. I had thought the sun golds would be bigger, but no, I want those supersonics to grow. I don't even need tomatoes, but the household does, and they look so red. I mean, if I liked tomatoes, that color's so attractive, you know. And we usually just have the cherries grow well. But now that I have that great garden, I hope the large tomatoes do better. One year we did these patio tomatoes meant for a pot. And those grew really well, but they were like somewhere in between cherry and regular size. Anyway, until next week, hopefully I'll keep making these weekly. Never know. But anyways, sleep well.